Hey everyone! So this video I will be comparing the American KitKat to the Canadian KitKat. So while I was in the States, I've had the American KitKat, and upon eating it I found it a little bit sweeter, but I didn't really immediately taste anything completely different. So this video is just going to prove how different they are after eating one after another. So let's get this underway. Okay, so first we're going to look at the packaging. Here is the American version. It's slightly different than the Canadian one. KitKat crisp wafers in milk chocolate. So this one here weighs 42 grams and 210 calories per pack. So I'm gonna look at the back here. So as it says here, is made by the Hershey company. So the one that we have is made by Nestle. So upon researching this, the US is the only country that has a Hershey KitKat, and the other country has KitKat is made by Nestle. And let's look at the Canadian one. So as comparing the wrapping, the Canadian one has more of a foily type packaging compared to the American. The American seems a little more matted, not matted I should say, it's more like a less foily design, like a metallic design. Just gonna show you up close. I'm sorry for poor lighting. See how the Nestle Canadian version is more foily than the American one. American is just more of a plain plastic. And the Canadian one has 45 grams compared to the American 42 grams. So this one here is a little bit heftier. And also this one here is 230 calories compared to the American 210 calories. Okay, back to the American KitKat. So when it comes to opening up the American KitKat, it's a little bit different than the Canadian version. It's giving you instructions to open, lift flap, and tear at end. So you're supposed to peel this apart. So when you open it, it just sort of makes it a little nice. It's a little bit melted, but oh well. As long as it doesn't alter the taste, should be fine. I'm just gonna flip the whole bar over so I can see the logo. There you go. Okay, now to the Canadian. Now, I prefer the American way of opening it, but the Canadian way has a little ribbon thing on the inside. It says tear here. So when you open it, you see that little red ribbon, and you just open it this way. Which is kind of odd. Doesn't look as nice. Try to open it without smudging the chocolate. So here's the Canadian one. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. Okay, so I have the opened Canadian and the opened US. Smells just about the same. Even the stamp on the bar looks slightly different. Well, I guess since they're made by different companies, that would happen. Well, actually what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tear off a bar. So this is the American one. And this is the Canadian one. Quite warm, so they melted a tiny bit, but it's not that much. Okay, now if I break it, so this is the American one, this is the Canadian one. You know what? Actually, the American one, the wafer looks a tiny bit smaller on the top than it do on the bottom. What do you think? Okay, now the actual taste comparison. Okay, so I'm going to try the American one first. Alright. Now I'm going to try the Canadian one. They do have a different taste. I am more familiar with the Canadian one, obviously, but the American one is slightly sweeter. And the Canadian one is not as sweet, but it has a more of a cocoa taste. And the wafer, I don't know, the cream inside the wafer tastes a little bit different. I really can't put a word to it. Slightly sharper? I don't know if that's the right word to put it, but it's... So as putting a full-on comparison, I prefer the Canadian one just because I don't like anything as sweet. And the American one, you know, they are pretty close in comparison. Just the Canadian one is not as sweet. The chocolate even tastes a little more milky. Not by much, just a little bit. KitKat is actually one of my favorite bars because I've always had it since I was a kid, and I found it like not too heavy on the sugar and not as intense as any other type of bars. I do like bars with caramel and peanuts and nougat, stuff like that, but I found the KitKat just right, and it's just not over intense sweetness in your mouth and like too much flavor. It's just a little bit subtle for me, and I enjoyed that. So thanks everyone for watching. So if you liked the video, click the like below and subscribe if you want to see more comparison videos and videos on Newfoundland. So that's all for tonight, so I hope you have a good one and take care. See you later.